guys, welcome back to Bedtime Storytime with Princess. I have got a new book this weekend called the Marvel Storybook Collection. We're gonna read two stories tonight. The first one I'm gonna pick, and then later we're gonna read one that my girlfriend Skittles wants to read. You guys all know her, she's my hero. So let's get started. The first one's a Spider-Man story. It's the very first story in the book. Alrighty. Marvel Spider-Man. Short Circuit. Peter Parker was at the movies with his best friends Miles Morales and Gwen Stacy. Suddenly the whole theater went pitch black. Uh-oh. Oh man, groaned Miles. We're just about to catch the bad guys. An usher addressed the complaining crowd. Sorry folks, he said. We are having a power outage. Must be due to the lightning storm outside. Lightning storm? The three friends exchanged worried looks. Let's check this out, said Gwen. To the Billy on every theater, I wonder what the problem is. Outside in Times Square, the scene was frantic. Someone had taken over all the city's power. My spidey senses tingling, muttered Gwen. Miles nodded. Mine too. That makes three of us, confirmed Peter. One day, I'd like my spidey sense to point me to the nearest hot dog vendor. The three heroes quickly dug into an alley to change into their spider costumes. It looks like Electro is up to his old tricks, said Peter. He wants to use the city's electricity to strengthen his superpowers. We need to stop him before this becomes dangerous, said Gwen. Suddenly there was a loud crash as the truck collided with a star. The truck collided with a car. What? Whoa. Looks like bad news bears. Following the pull of his spidey sense, Miles directed his attention to a strange sound nearby. Zzz. Miles heard a loud electric buzzing and followed it down to the subway tunnels. Only to find it was Electro. He was absorbing energy from the subway rails. Miles accidentally kicked a stray soda can, attracting Electro's attention. What's this? Electro spoke. Another Spider-Man. Then quickly, Miles fired a venom blast at the supervillain and missed. You must still be in training, Electro. You must still be in training. Electro laughed. Angered, Miles tried again, this time with web shooters. But Electro shot back a lightning bolt. That knocked him out cold. You better come with me, Mini Spider, said Electro. He tossed Miles over his shoulder. Uh-oh. Suddenly, a familiar voice came from behind the villain. Electro, why so blue? The whip. Ghost Spider fired her web shooters, trying to catch Electro. Zap! Electro blasted lightning bolts and knocked a stunned Ghost Spider backward. Spider-Man leaped up to the ceiling and tried to wrap a web around the limp Miles to pull the hero toward him. Whoosh! Just then a train came thundering through the tunnel. Spider-Man grabbed Ghost Spider just in time. They clung to the wall as the train roared past. Once it was clear, they hopped down and looked around. The train was gone, and so were Electro and Miles. You see? Look at all the damage that happened. I hope that Miles is okay. It shows a good thing that Scully. It shows a good thing that Spider-Man was there to help catch Miles before anything bad happened to him. And look, there's Ghost Spider. I think that's Spider-Man, but anywho, I hope that, she's okay. The Spider they was New York City, hoping to track down their friend and not so friendly enemy. Meanwhile, at the end of the city's energy control center, Electro taken Miles and the facility's workers prisoner. He stood in front of a giant control panel. Once I hack into the system, I'll be unstoppable. Electro. The code. I think you caused enough mischief for today, Spider-Man says. He bursts into the room. But here's our webbed hero saving the day here's our webbed hero friend saving the day. And here's Electro. What a horrible guy. With Electro distracted, Ghost Spider crept in quietly and freed Miles. Before Electro knew it hit him, she swooped in and fired a pair of webs that pinned Electro against the wall. But to broke free. Mwah! Mwah! He roared. Electricity coursing through him. He fired a supercharged lightning bolt and had all things like cover. Miles, whispered Ghost Spider. Your venom blast is the only way. Miles is hesitant. What if he missed again? Don't worry, Spider-Man encouraged Miles. We'll all do this together. See? Let's see. I just go to show you with friends. With friends by your side, you can do almost anything. Ghost Spider quickly shot webs at Electro while Spider-Man looked into the air and tackled into the ground. This place is crawling with bugs, Electro. Now, Ghost Spider called to Miles. Miles heard his courage and fired his venom blast at Electro, shocking the supervillain when he was fully charged. Immediately, Electro began to short circuit. See, isn't that cool? You're no match for Spider-Man and friends, Electro. With Electro in custody, the trio changed and headed back toward the theater. Thanks for having my back, said Miles. Thanks for having my back, Miles told his friends. You guys showed me that being part of a team also helps you become great on your own. And you are a really important part of the team, said Gwen with a smile. Wow, my spider sense is tingling, said Peter. Mine isn't, began Miles before he nearly ran to a hot dog cart. Mine has movies, hot dogs, and chasing bad guys. This is definitely the right team for me. The end. Yay! Alright, guys, let's read a few more stories let's read a couple more stories. Let's read a couple more stories before bedtime. Okay, guys, our next story is going to be, another Spider-Man story. This one's going to be called Shock and Awe. It's a Spider-Man and Spider-Gwen story. Peter Parker, let's get started. Spider-Man, Shock and Awe. Peter Parker, the superhero known as Spider-Man, sat down on a rooftop ledge after a night of fighting baddies. He let out a long sigh. Okay, Gwen said Stacy, Peter's friend and superior partner known as Ghost Spider. Spill it. What's wrong? Huh? Said Peter. Huh? Oh. Sorry. I'm just tired. I haven't slept. He rubbed his forehead. There've been these robberies, and I can't figure out who's doing them. Well, talk to me, Gwen said. We just need a fresh set of ears. Every night, a couple of technology targets are hit, Peter began. Computer shops, tech startup, places like that. And at every location, he continued, the security systems are shorted out. They're completely fried. I figured he'd like to, but I checked. He's behind bars. Just like we read in the last story. Peter looked defeated. So if it's not Electro, then who could it be? He wondered aloud. That's a good question, Peter. I wondered too. That's odd. There have been a string of robberies in my neighborhood too, said Gwen said. Homes, a grocery, even a toy store. But there's no sign of a forced entry of any of them. I don't even know how this thief is getting in. But when I tried to find out, the only thing I could find was some wet footprints. And all the crime scenes had them. You know what? Said Peter. I think I figured yours out. Then we got that in common, said Gwen triumphantly. Because you know what? Said Peter. I think I got yours figured out. Then we got that in common, said Gwen triumphantly. Because I know who's robbing those electronic stores. The friends grinned. Peter and Becca put their heads together, working out detail after detail, idea after idea. They found that in using one another's strength, they made a pretty good team. All they had to do was build the trap, or in their case, cast a web. The first thing they needed to do was find a target that would attract both criminals. See, look, here is that like suspicious water. Here's like that sketch water puddle. Here they are talking. Let's see what happens. At an empty storefront, Gwen's neighborhood fit the bill perfectly. With a freshly painted banner and a foggy front window, they designed the storefront as an up-and-coming electronics shop. Peter passed out flyers, and Gwen posted on all the top social media sites and tech blogs. Their web had been spun. Now it's a matter of waiting for the sun to go down. With everything in place, Spider-Man and Ghost Spider perched on the rooftop with their fake star. They waited in silence, hoping to spot anything unusual. I hope they cut this. I'm sure they will, but you know. Yawn. Spider-Man was having trouble keeping his eyes open, but suddenly his spider sense jolted him wide awake. He scanned the building and the street below, and saw a thin stream of water making its way toward the building. It was as if the water was alive. The water stood beneath the store's metal shutter. It moved a few feet into the dark room and lifted itself into the air. Slowly but surely, it took the shape of a person. There stood the villain Spider-Man had suspected had been ransacking Ghost Rider's neighborhood. Hydro Man. Dun dun dun. See? There's the perpetrator, and there's Spidey. Meanwhile, Ghost Spider spotted a shadowy figure approaching the back of the building. She ducked down, keeping gaze on the mysterious stranger. That electricity shot out of the figure's hand onto the automatic lock on the back door. Gwen smiled beneath her mask. I knew it, she whispered. He engaged my Spider-Man, and with a nod, they took action. Inside the store, the shadowy figure's hands began to glow. Spider-Man's suspicion was correct. Electro was behind the rash of recent tech robberies. Just not the Electro he thought. There was darkness in the newest, electrically powered villain to plague New York City. Francine Fry. Dun dun dun. There she is. And then how she's related to Electro. The first thing Electro noticed was that this door wasn't much of a store at all. The second thing she noticed was a dark figure standing at the opposite end of the large room. It's a trap, thought Electro, but she immediately disengaged the electric charge. Now more than ever, she would need to stick to the shadows. Across the door, Hydro Man saw a spark of light in the corner of his eye. He strained to see in the darkness. He could only make out a dark shadow standing by the back door. Someone was waiting for him. Hydro Man clenched his fist. He is not one to give up without a fight. I have to fight each other and then both get sent into jail. The two villains bided their time for a beat. And at nearly the exact moment, Hydro Man lashed out with a blast of water while Electro shot a giant bolt of electricity from her hands. Frack! Lightning met water in a tremendous explosion. Sparks, smoke, and steam filled the room. Gwen Spider took advantage of the chaos and leapt forward toward Electro, leaping her from causing further damage and mayhem. Look at how cool this is. Ooh. Hydro Man staggered backward. He had received a shock to his system. He couldn't even think about turning into water at that moment. It was all he could do to try to keep his balance. Just then, Spider-Man leaped from the shadows. So this is what happens when you don't pay your water bill, he joked as he shot a web towards the explosion. His opponent. Hydro Man hit the floor with a thud. He was down for the count. Dun dun dun. Later, back on the rooftop, the heroes watched as shield agents carried away the two villains. What did I tell you? Gwen said happily. A fresh perspective was all either of us needed. Now you can go home and finally get some rest. But Peter didn't answer. He had fallen asleep 10 minutes ago. Night night, Peter Parker. Alrighty, let's read one more story before bedtime. Alrighty guys, let's actually read a story about Thor. And his story. Alright. Let's continue. Thor, the Asgardian prince. Thor was once the most powerful being in the magical realm of Asgard. The only way to reach this world was by a bridge called Bifrost, controlled by the all-seeing guardian Heimdall. Even though Asgard and the people who lived there were protected, they faced endless threats from those who envied their wealth and power. Thor is one of the land's great protectors. Here's the wonderful city of Asgard where Thor lives. Thor was born in the Sea of Odin. Thor was the son of Odin, lord of the Asgardians, making Thor a prince. He and his brother Loki, the adopted son of Odin, lived in a grand palace. As children, Thor and Loki each wanted to prove their worth to their father. Eventually, Loki grew jealous of Thor because he was their favorite son. The throne was Thor's by right. Nothing. I know they say they're right for something like it's a good thing, but I was hoping it didn't go. Let's just hope it didn't go too far. To determine when Thor would be ready to rule, Odin had a special hammer made. It was forged from a mystical metal being taken from the heart of a dying star. The hammer was named Mjolnir. It had great power, but only by someone who proved to be worthy lift the hammer, Mjolnir. Thor performed amazing acts of bravery and nobility, always displaying great strength. With every good achievement, Thor attempted once more to pick up Mjolnir. Diffident seeing that he had never be able to raise the hammer. One day, Thor grabbed Mjolnir and raised it high into the air. Thor proved himself worthy of his weapon, and he was going to use it well. See? Odin wanted Thor to be a great warrior, and he had become one. More important, Odin knew Thor had earned every Asgardian's respect, but Odin also knew that Thor had begun to let the power go to his head. Never a good idea. Yeah, Odin was not happy. Thor was cursed to live on Earth as a mere mortal instead of a god. See, Odin made his son believe that he was a medical student with an injured leg named Don Blake. As Don, Thor learned to study hard, and in the end, he earned his medical degree. He allowed others to help him with his injury. In doing so, he learned to truly love humanity. And one day on vacation in Norway, Don discovered a huge walking stick inside a cave. Then he stuck the stick into the ground. It magically transformed. It was Mojo in disguise. It was like this at the walking stick. Don changed. He turned back into Thor. Look, once a medical student and now a brave superhero. Odin was pleased. His son had learned humility. He had become human in spirit but still, now and forever, he was Thor. He fought supervillains all over the world. Thor's presence attracted the attention of his brother Loki, the trickster god of Asgard. Loki had just a plan for defeating his pesky older brother. On Earth, Loki coerced the Incredible Hulk into fits of rage in order to draw Thor into battle. But Thor realized what was happening and soon made friends with Hulk and the other adventurers. When Thor realized that Hulk had been manipulated by Loki, he knew he was going to need some help. With the assistance of Iron Man, Hulk, Ant-Man, and Wasp, the hero defeated Loki and forced him to confess to his crimes. Thor knew he needed to continue to protect the people of Earth and Asgard from evil. And he couldn't do it alone. Like there are the other Avengers. I'm glad that they were able to see. I'm glad that they were persuaded to be friends. So he partnered with the Avengers to tackle threats in both earthly and otherwise. One important battle pitted the heroes against Fin Fang Foom, an ancient dragon who was set free and vowed to wreak havoc on New York City. The Avengers, along with Elsa with the Bloodstone and Valkyrie, managed to get the dragon back to where he belongs. It is a hard-won victory for Earth's mightiest heroes. There they are, and there's the monster back in its cage. No matter the threat, Thor and the Avengers were able to make sure that the people of the world were kept safe. See? The end. Alrighty, guys. I guess it's time for Princess to go to bed. It's late. Gotta get up early. But don't worry. We'll read some more another time. I love you. Mwah!